Hello everyone, I'm PS World Explorer and welcome to my exploration site. Now in Final Fantasy VII story, we all know that Marlene was the daughter of Dean and Eleanor. So, what if she wasn't? What if Dean actually made his daughter with some other woman from the cast? So, let's ask one question. What if Tifa was Marlene's mom? Now, in order for this what if story to happen, we need to heavily alter the past of both Tifa and Dean. With Tifa, this will be much easier because most of her past is acceptable for this what if, but we're gonna alter some of it. But with Dean, it's much harder. First, we need to make him be originally from Nibelheim. Then we're gonna need to make him younger as well to match Tifa's age. And finally, we're gonna make him Tifa's first boyfriend. Now that all that is done, we can start the story. Our story begins in a night before the reactor mission in a stormy argument between our two heroes. Dean telling Tifa, Tifa, you know how I feel about this. You should go. Tifa replying, listen, we already talked about it. I have to go. It's my job. Dean replying, do whatever you want. I'm done arguing with you. Have a good night. Dean storming out of the house and the day of the mission have come. Side note, I will use the real past at this time and not the one Cloud made up. The side of the argument, anything goes on like in the original story. Until the point Sangan finding Tifa and taking her to Midgar for a medical care. Let me just point out, Marlene is 4 years old in Final Fantasy VII events, so Tifa need to be in a late stage pregnancy while in the reactor mission, while she only 15 years old. For this what if, that's what we're gonna do. Sorry Tifa for making you a pregnant teenager. In the original story, Tifa ended up in the hands of a quack doctors who patched her up but stole money so she would owe them and against her will took a topless photo of her. But in this video, that's where things started to change. The quack doctors will still treat Tifa but won't steal a thing from her and will help her have her baby, which her name stays Marlene like in the original story. That is where we get straight to the point where Tifa's working at the bun stall to pay for her treatment, but this time she have a kid to worry about, so that lead her to buy Seventh Heaven a little later. By the way, Seventh Heaven is the place where she meet Barrett and Marlene, but in our story she will meet only Barrett. Barrett will compliment Tifa on her beautiful daughter, and then I think anything will go on similar to the original story until she reunites with Cloud at her bar. Cloud enters Tifa's bar and Marlene getting scared by him like in the original story. Only this time, Tifa going to Marlene, extending her hand and going with her to Cloud. Marlene asking, Mom, who is this guy? Tifa answering, Marlene, this is Cloud. He's my childhood friend. Barrett entering the bar and telling anyone to get down at once to start the meeting. Tifa asking Cloud to go outside with her so they could talk in private. Cloud saying, I didn't know you have a daughter. How old is she? Tifa replies, she is 4 years old. Isn't she a cutie? She is cute, but I don't understand how. Remember Dean? He was one of my friends at the beginning. Of course I remember. I never liked that guy. Well, he's Marlene's father. Really? So where is he now? And how is it possible? Cloud, he was my first boyfriend. After our last argument, I didn't saw him again. Did he knew you were pregnant? Yes, he knew. I was in a late stage in my pregnancy when our last argument occurred. So he abandoned you. Tifa nodded her head and Cloud asking her, does Marlene know about this? No, I can't tell her. You should tell her. Tifa, with tears in her eyes, replied, it's too difficult. I don't know how to tell my daughter that her father abandoned her. Every time I tried, I got choked up. How about you try now with me? What do you mean? You gotta tell her now, and I will come with you. Every time you feel discouraged, look at me, and I think it will help. Tifa thinking about it for a minute and agree. The two get inside, Tifa calling Marlene. Marlene, sweetheart, can you come over here? I have something to tell you. Marlene running to her mother and asking, what is it, Mom? I have something I should have told you a long time ago. Marlene asking what it is, and then Tifa look at Cloud. Cloud nods, and Tifa starting to tell Marlene anything. After Tifa finishes her story, Marlene starting to cry and hugs Tifa. Barrett coming upstairs and starting to ask, Tifa, where are you? Did you forget that? Barrett suddenly noticing Marlene crying in Tifa's arms and asking, what's going on here? Why is Marlene crying? Tifa looking at Barrett while hugging her daughter, answering, I told her, Barrett. I told her everything. Shocked Barrett commenting, you did? But I thought you couldn't do it. Barrett looking at Cloud, asking, do you put her up for this? Cloud nods and Barrett putting on a smile, commenting, this is great. That damn secret is no longer a secret. Tifa, you should feel happy and relief. Tifa getting back on her feet while holding Marlene, saying, well, it's hard to be happy when your daughter is crying. Sure, she is crying now because she just found out about it. Marlene lifting her head, wiping her tears, and asking Tifa, Mom, will I ever be able to see my dad? I don't know, honey. But if you had that option, will you want that? No, I won't. After what he put us through, I never want to see him. I hate him. I just need you, Mom. Tifa putting on a smile and nods. Then saying, honey, you should really go to sleep now. Okay, Mom. Cloud commenting, not just her. All of us should get to bed. Anyone agree and going to sleep. Guys, I just want to say that we all know how Tifa always cared for anyone, so we all agree that when it comes to parent a child, she would be a mega mom. The next morning, Cloud got up and was greeted good morning by Tifa like in the original story. And she asked him, did you sleep well? Yes, I did. What about you? How was a sleep which included freedom from a terrible secret? Tifa putting on a smile and saying, the most satisfying sleep I have ever had. Look at me, and look at Marlene. I really owe you one. Thank you. Cloud smiled and nodded his head. Barrett suddenly saying, I hate to raid at this moment, but we really need to go. Tifa, you coming with us? No. I have to be with my daughter, especially after last night. Okay, Tifa, I'll go get Jessie. Cloud, I'll meet you on the train. Cloud looking at Tifa and waved her goodbye. Tifa smiled and waving him back, and Cloud moving out. He met up with Barrett and Jessie, and the train starting to move. From this point and until the Sector 7 pillar incident, anything going similar to the original story. With one thing different, and that is the fact that Tifa won't get involved in the Sector 5 reactor mission. In the pillar incident, not much changing. I think the only thing that changing here is the way Tifa introducing Marlene. Tifa asking Aerith, do me a favor. I have a bar in this neighborhood called Seven Heaven. My daughter is in there. Her name is Marlene. You have a daughter? You look younger than me. Please, we don't have time. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Of course I'll put her somewhere safe. Leave it to me. Anyone, it's not safe here. Get out of Sector 7. Nothing else changing here, so we can move on to after the explosion.
Tifa, Cloud, and Barrett running toward the destroyed gate to Sector 7 like in the original story. But unlike the original story, Barrett doesn't mention Marlene after calling the names of his fallen Avalanche members. He's starting to shoot the gate like he did originally. After he stopped and did some thinking, he thought of Marlene and said, Tifa, what about Marlene? We lost her too? I don't think so. I think she's okay. Aerith told me she's safe when that helicopter came. Barrett thinks a little and then saying, Oh, that girl, I see. But where did she took her? I think I know where. Let's go. The trio get into Aerith's house and anything going similar to the original story until Marlene is mentioned. Tifa begins by saying, Then it's all my fault. Then she moving toward Elmira, standing face to face, bowing her head and saying, I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Marlene, she's my daughter. I'm so sorry. You're her mother? So why did you left her alone like that? Tifa telling Elmira what happened and Elmira responds, That's horrible. I can't believe they did such a thing. Is Marlene still here? Can I see her? Of course, she's upstairs. Tifa going upstairs. After a minute, Cloud follows. Cloud hearing Tifa saying from within the room, I was so worried about you. I'm so glad you're safe. Thank you, Mom. I missed you too. Cloud turning around to go downstairs and Tifa exit the room. She noticed Cloud and saying, Oh, Cloud, you're here. You're going to save Aerith now, aren't you? I'm coming with you. She saved my daughter's life. I owe her. Cloud nods and the two heading down. Tifa then turned to Elmira asking, I'm sorry to ask, but can you watch over Marlene for a little longer? Yeah, I don't mind. Tifa bows her head again and replies, Thank you for everything, really from the bottom of my heart. What's up, Tifa? We're going to Shinra headquarters to save Aerith. Then count me in. Let's go. From this point and until the cast leave in Midgar, nothing really changing. Then Tifa looking back at Midgar and we get a scene like in the remake, with Tifa extending her hand saying, Marlene, I will be back, my heart. Again, nothing after changing until Tifa, Barrett and Cloud reach in Coral. They will blame Barrett for Coral's situation like they did originally, but then Tifa overhearing someone talking about Dean. Tifa running to the same guy she heard, then running back to Cloud saying, Cloud, you heard that? Dean was here. I can't believe it. The bastard who abandoned me is here somewhere. So, you want to settle the score? Of course, he has a lot of explaining to do. Nothing else changing here until Coral Desert Prison when the party is getting ready to confront Dean. And of course, the three that will go to confront Dean are Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa. The trio going to where Dean was in the original story, but the one to confront Dean will be Tifa. Tifa approaching while still keeping some distance, kicking things off by saying, Dean! Dean lifting his hand, commenting, Well, it's been a while, Tifa. So not only you abandoned me, you became a murderer too? Dean doesn't reply and Tifa continuing, I just want to know one thing. Why? How could you? I had my reasons. But you knew I was pregnant with your child. We have a daughter, you know that? So she should be 4 years old, right? Yes, and you don't know what I've been through to raise her alongside walking. Where is she now? In Midgar. I had her babysitting. Why? I have to go see her. After all, she's my daughter as well. No, you stay away from her. I will not allow a monster like you be anywhere near my daughter. Tifa pulling out her gloves and get into fighting position. Dean commenting, so that's how it's going to be. Barrett screaming from the back. Whoa, both of you, calm down. There must be a better way to settle this. Tifa commenting. Barrett, you stay out of this. This is my problem. Did get into fighting position as well, and the two getting ready to fight. Now, Tifa versus Dean. A dream match? I highly doubt it. Let's talk a little about our two combatants. Dean, as far as I'm concerned, is easily the weakest character in the game, and he much be better off against someone like Barrett, which he lose to as well, because Barrett is far stronger than him. But against Tifa, Dean is in a very serious disadvantage, because Tifa much more trained and agile and can easily take down both Barrett and Dean. Anyway, back to the fight. After Tifa finishes with Dean, he's going down on two knees and saying, "You are a strong fighter, Tifa. I'm warning you, stay away from Marlene." Dean getting back on his feet, reaching to his pocket and saying, "Tifa, I only have one request. Give this pendant to Marlene. It's a gift." Tifa looking at the pendant, thinking about it, and agree. Dean turn around and start walking. Tifa doesn't understand and saying, "Dean, what are you doing?" "Tifa, keep watching over Marlene, and I hope you will find it in your heart to forgive me." Dean throwing himself like he did originally, shocked Tifa, taking one more look at the pendant, her eyes starting to tear up and she eventually cry. Cloud putting his hand on Tifa's shoulders, Tifa turns to Cloud and asking, "Why? First he abandoned me, then he killed people, and now he killed himself? Why? Wasn't I a good girlfriend? It wasn't your fault. All of these were the choices he made, and in the end, he couldn't live with those choices." Tifa looking at Cloud while smiling and says thank you. From this point and until almost the end of the date scene, anything goes like in the original story. Before we get to that, in the original story, you have 4 possible dates: Yuffie, Barrett, Tifa, and Aerith. For this what if, Tifa she's the only choice. It is almost the end of the ride and Tifa starting to think a little, then looking at Cloud saying, "Cloud, I will just go on and say it." Now pay attention guys. For the first time in Final Fantasy VII, Tifa will confess to Cloud. When she thinks about it, she understands after all she's been through, telling Cloud her feelings for him will be a walk in the park. Just a reminder, I said in the beginning that nothing changed in Tifa's past beside the argument she had with Dean. Now I'll be more clear. Nothing really changes with the exception of having Dean in her life until that stormy argument. She still meet up with Cloud at the well and even look for articles about him. Now, back to the story. Cloud with a curious look saying, "Okay Tifa, I'm listening." Tifa taking a deep breath and saying, "Well, it's true that I had a boyfriend who got me pregnant at a very young age, but it didn't stop me looking for an articles about you or thinking how you're doing. And after we got back from the reactor, anyone told me that Dean left. And then I realized that I never liked him as much as what? As much as I liked you. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I love you, Cloud, with all my heart." Shocked Cloud doesn't answer and stare at Tifa without knowing what to say. Then Tifa asking him, "Cloud, please say something. This silence is killing me." "Wow, Tifa, you caught me off guard. I care for you a lot, that's for sure. But maybe that care come from love." Tifa smile and love where this is going. And Cloud continue, "Well, follow you to Mount Nibelheim to save you, then calling you to the well, yes, of course it will come from love, is it? Tifa smiled widen up and asking, then you love me? Cloud nods and Tifa now extremely happy. She's going and sitting next to Cloud and lean her head against Cloud's shoulders. Cloud smiled and saying, is that means I will be Marlene's stepfather now? Tifa laughed and telling him that he will be, but only if he want to. And then comes the end of the ride. The two stepping out of the gondola, or whatever it called. Tifa thanking Cloud for taking her out and asking to go back because she's tired. Cloud nods at the two starting to go back to the hotel. Now, in the original story, after the gondola ride, the two dating characters will waste a little time talking to each other, and that make them reach the main hall after Kate said. But in our story, Cloud and Tifa started to walk back almost immediately. So I say they have 1 or 2 minutes until Kate's seat come. Tifa and Cloud reach the main hall and then Tifa stops, turning to Cloud and saying, you made me very happy tonight. Cloud smiled, the two hugging each other and then share a kiss. But the romantic scene will cut short because here comes Kate's seat. Kate's seat immediately catch Cloud's attention, then Tifa looking at Cloud with confused look saying, what did you stop? Look there, it's Kate's seat. Yes, you're right, what is doing here? Kate's seat showing up the keystone and Cloud commenting, hey, that's the keystone. Kate's seat, stop! And then the chase begin. It will go like in the original story until the Kate's seat pulls out his communicator and the voice of Marlene is sound. Tifa starting to panic from her daughter's voice and saying, hey, that's my daughter. That's my mommy. Mom, please help me. Kate's turn his communicator off and saying, now you have to do as I say. Tifa now extremely furious and saying, you monster, let her go at once. I'll kick your ass if you harm her. You bastard. You can do whatever you want with this body, but you can calm yourself. I don't want to harm her. Let's just go on like we did and I'll let her go. Ketsy turn around and leave, Cloud commenting, we have no choice but to do as he says. I'm scared, Cloud. Marlene, she's very important to me. Cloud hugs Tifa and saying, all we can do now is trying to sleep and hope for the best. Tifa telling Cloud that he's right and the two going back to the hotel. Now things will go on like in the original story for a bit until the party of Barrett, Yuffie, Red 13, Sid, Vincent and Eric left the room. Tifa boils with rage and shouting, Kate, stop now, I mean it. Kate turned around to Tifa and commenting, what's wrong? You know exactly what's wrong. What about my daughter? Let her go, I begging you. As soon as we get to the temple, she's free to go. I promise. The three heading out and meeting Aerith outside. She's watching Kate leave and asking, what's going on? I heard screams. Kate took Marlene hostage. You're Marlene? Why did he do that? He is working for Shinra. He was a spy. He even stole the keystone. But why Marlene? Insurance that we allow him to come with us. But he did promise us to let Marlene go as soon as we get to the temple. And we're sure he will? Aerith, do we have any other option? He has Marlene. He might hurt her. Look, let's just go, okay? There is no other option but to take his word. Tifa and Aerith nods and the trio leaves. Tifa, Aerith and Cloud got to the island and about to reach the temple, but Tifa suddenly noticed a chopper and quickly informed Cloud. Cloud saying it's a Shinra chopper and the three getting ready. The chopper lands, and suddenly Marlene exits the chopper. Tifa with tears in her eyes, saying, Marlene, is that you? Marlene looking at Tifa's direction and yells, Mommy! The two running toward each other, and then Tifa hugs Marlene and saying, Oh honey, I missed you so much. Are you okay? Did I hurt you? No mom, I'm fine. I missed you too. The two keeps hugging for a while, then Tifa saying, Marlene, this is for you honey, and gives her the pendant. Marlene commenting, Thanks mom, it's beautiful. You're welcome honey, but it isn't for me. Really? Then from who? It's from your father, sweetie. I met him. Daddy? Then why didn't he join you? Where is he now? It's not easy to say, honey. Your father is dead. He killed himself. Marlene bowed down her head, then lifting him up and asking, So we have no one now? That's not true, sweetheart. We have lots of friends. And we have Cloud. He is my new boyfriend. Marlene looking at Cloud, saying, You better take real good care of my mommy. Cloud smiles and nods his head. Aerith then asking, Since when you and Tifa are a couple? Remember all the things we told you about Kate Sid? Aerith nods and Cloud continue. At the same night, we dated. On that date, she told me she loved me. Aerith smiled at Cloud, and suddenly a voice had been heard from the chopper, saying, Marlene, time's up. I still need to take you home. Marlene looking at Tifa and saying, Mom, I don't want to go back. I want to stay with you. No, honey, it's too dangerous here. Go back and be a good girl for me, okay? Okay, Mommy. Can I have one last hug? Of course. After Tifa and Marlene hug, Marlene running to the chopper, then looking at her mother and the two waving goodbye at each other, and the chopper leave. Cloud putting his hand on Tifa's shoulder, then Tifa turning to Cloud and Aerith, telling them they should keep going. Cloud and Aerith nods, and the trio moving toward the temple. From this point, nothing else changes with one exception. Thanks to Tifa's confession in Advert Children, Tifa and Cloud are actually married rather than just living with each other. And so ends a story of what if Tifa was Marlene's mom. I hope you like that story. You can leave what if suggestions on the comments, and thank you all very much for watching.